give me your name, title, and tell me a little bit about what you do for the Corps.
My name is Jerry Cotter. I'm the chief of the Water Resources Branch, and we have two sections in the branch. One is responsible for operating the flood control reservoirs, and the second section does hydrologic investigations. And as a branch chief, I try to keep work coming in the door, oversee what those sections are doing, work to mentor employees and help them become better employees here in the district.
How long have you worked for the Corps of Engineers?
Well, I went to work for the Corps out of college in 1980, and I worked for the Corps for 4 years and learned quite a bit. The training program in the Corps is fantastic. So I really learned a lot about H&H work, and I was kind of courted by the consulting community as an H&H expert, and I went out and worked for several firms for about 10 years. I was last working on the superconducting super collider, and that ended in 1994. It had its super collision with Congress, and so I came back to work for the Corps at that time. And overall, I think I've been here 27 years.
So where were you after you left the Corps? After those 4 years, what did you do after that?
Well, I worked for Stearns and Associates, Greenhorn and Amera, Kimley Horn, and Parsons Brinkerhoff on the Super Collider project.
So what did you miss about the Corps after you left?
Well, there's several things that I missed about the Corps. Number one was the friends and relationships that I had built here. I was part of a crop of about 60 interns that came in 1980. We were all best friends. We hung out together. It was a great camaraderie that went on, and still friends with some of those folks. Also missed the really fantastic training and mentoring that goes on in the Corps. When you go into the private sector, you're pretty much expected to produce results. You get very little training, very little mentoring, and you're kind of out there on your own. Now, it is fantastic that you learn a lot very quickly in order to, kind of be successful in your work, sink or swim type of deal. So you learn to swim very quickly, but the training and all that's offered in the Corps is unequaled out there in the private sector, plus the mentoring.
Why did you choose government service?
Well, one of the things I wanted to say previously was that, I would miss now, knowing what I know now, the way that you get to serve your country and you feel like you're part of a bigger problem than just the little task that I did in the consulting business, where it was just pretty much project driven. Now we do programs. We are active in the flood risk areas. We are advisors for FEMA, for the Council of Governments, and we're working programmatically to better flood risk management across the state, and that's really very fulfilling. We also have a national presence. The Corps is a worldwide organization, so we have a lot of employees that go overseas and work on very important projects. One most recently is Mosul Dam, very critical structure in Iraq. So it's just a very fulfilling role to play here, and you feel really like you're part of the community, and you're really accomplishing things that are more significant than project-to-project things.
And so what would you tell someone considering applying for a job with the Corps?
Well, I would say it's a great place to work. We have a fantastic work-life balance. You'll get training that's unequaled in the technical areas. At least, I can only speak for my branch. I don't really know what goes on everywhere across the Corps. But here we send everyone to very frequent training. We do a lot of mentoring. So our goal is to produce the best water resources engineers that we can. And whether or not they stay and spend their entire career with the federal government, or they go out into the private sector or to work for a state agency, we know that training is going to help them with their career, and it's going to help them support us and work with us better going into the future. So it's just a fantastic opportunity, and it's an opportunity to feel part of something bigger. and an opportunity to serve your country and do things that you don't necessarily get to do when you complete that roadway over there or go over there. Those are important things. I don't want to take away from those. But I think the programs that we're involved in, the dam safety, levee safety, all the work we're doing for FEMA, the Council of Governments, they give you more of a sense of really serving the community here in the nation.
Perfect.